You ever notice how you can be doing everything right? You went to school, you got a job, you try to save money, you avoid bad spending, and yet, somehow, your bank account still feels stuck. Like no matter how hard you try, you're always just getting by. Yeah, that's not an accident. Here's the thing. It's not that you're bad with money. It's that you were taught the wrong rules about money from the very beginning. Rules that sound smart, feel responsible, but quietly keep you broke for life. And today, we're going to break them. My name is Mike, and spend way too much time thinking about how money actually works in real life. If you're someone who feels like you're working hard but still not getting ahead financially, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because, look, this video might change the way you see money forever. Let's start with the first lie. And honestly, this one sounds so innocent. Lie number 1, save your money. Now wait, before you get mad, I'm not saying saving is bad, but here's what most people don't realize. Saving money alone will never make you wealthy. Let me show you something simple. Let's say you save $200 a month. That's already disciplined, right? After 10 years, you'll have about $24,000 without interest. Sounds okay, until you realize inflation is quietly eating that money every year. If inflation averages 3%, your money loses about half its value in 24 years. So what you think is safety is actually slow loss. Now, you might be thinking, but Mike, saving is better than nothing. Yes, but saving is just the first step, not the final strategy. Saving without investing is like filling a bucket that has a tiny hole at the bottom. You feel productive, but you're not actually moving forward. What to do instead? Save for emergencies, 3 to 6 months. Then move money into assets, stocks, business, skills. Make your money work. Because wealth doesn't come from saving. It comes from multiplying. Lie number 2. Go to school, get a good job, and you'll be fine. Look, this one hurts a little, because it's what most of us were told growing up. Study hard leads to get a degree, leads to get a stable job, leads to life is secure. But here's the reality. A job gives you income, but income is not wealth. Let me explain. If you earn $3,000 a month and spend $2,800, you're technically doing well, but you're still one emergency away from stress. Now compare that to someone who earns $2,000, but invests $500 monthly into assets. After 20 years at 8% return, that person could have over $295,000, not because they earned more, but because they understood the game. We were taught to chase security, not freedom. Jobs feel safe, but they also limit your time, cap your income, depend on someone else's decisions. What to do instead? Keep your job for now. Build income streams. Learn high-value skills. Invest consistently, because jobs pay bills. Assets build wealth. Lie number 3. Debt is always bad. Okay, this one is dangerous, because it's only half true. There are 2 types of debt. Bad debt, good debt. But nobody explained that to us. Bad debt. Credit cards for consumption. Loans for depreciating items, things that don't generate income. Good debt, investments that produce returns. Business loans, real estate, when done right. Here's an example. If you borrow $10,000 at 5% interest, but use it to generate 12% returns, you're making money on borrowed money. That's how wealthy people operate. Now, you might be thinking, but debt feels risky. Exactly. Because most people only experience bad debt, so they fear all debt. But avoiding all debt is like refusing to use fire because it can burn you. Used correctly, it can cook your food. What to do instead? Avoid consumer debt. Learn leverage slowly. Only take debt that pays you back. Lie number 4. Buy a house as soon as possible. This one is controversial, but let's talk honestly. Buying a house is not always an investment. Sometimes it's a liability. You buy a house for $150,000. Sounds like an asset, right? But then, property taxes, maintenance, repairs, mortgage interest. You might end up paying way more over time. And that house doesn't generate income. It just sits there. Now compare that to investing that same money. At 8% return over 25 years, $150,000 could turn into over $1 million. This is where it gets really interesting. A house can be a lifestyle choice, a personal goal, but not always a financial asset. Ownership feels like success. But feelings don't always equal financial growth. What to do instead? Don't rush into buying. Compare renting versus investing. Make decisions based on numbers, not emotions. Lie number 5. More money will solve your problems. Look, this is probably the biggest one. People think if I just earn more, everything will be fine. But here's the truth. Income doesn't fix money problems. Income doesn't fix money problems. Behavior does. Person A earns $2,000, spends $1,800. Person B earns $10,000, spends $9,800. Who's wealthier? Neither, because both are saving very little. This is called lifestyle inflation. As income goes up, spending goes up too. And suddenly, you're still stuck. We use money to feel better, reward ourselves, show status. So more income often means more spending. What to do instead? Fix habits first. Increase income second. Keep lifestyle under control. Because if you can't manage $1,000, you won't manage $10,000. Lie number 6. Investing is too risky. This one keeps people broke for decades. Because fear stops action. But here's what most people don't realize. Not investing is actually riskier. If you leave $10,000 in cash for 20 years, inflation will slowly destroy its value. So you feel safe, but you're losing money silently. Now compare that to investing. Historically, around 7 to 10% annual returns in broad markets. Yes, there are ups and downs, but over time, it grows. Now, you might be thinking, what if I lose money? Short term? Maybe. Long term? Not investing almost guarantees loss. Humans fear loss more than they value gain. So we avoid investing, even when it's the smarter move. What to do instead? Start small. Invest consistently. Think long term. Here's what most people don't realize. These lies weren't meant to hurt you. They were meant to keep you safe, stable, predictable. But safety is not wealth. And stability can quietly turn into stagnation. If you take anything from this video, do this. Build a financial base, emergency fund, track your spending, start investing. Even small amounts. Stay consistent. Increase your income. Learn skills. Explore side income. Control your lifestyle. Don't upgrade too fast. Stay disciplined. Keep learning. Books, content, real-world experience. Look, you're not broke because you're lazy. You're not stuck because you're not trying. You're stuck because you were taught rules that don't work anymore. But now, you see it. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. So the real question is, what are you going to do differently starting today? If this hit you, drop a like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments which one of these lies affected you the most. Because trust me, you're not alone.